Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Backlog channel and the Backcast video.
Good recovery.
Yeah.
Good recovery.
It's not like we had a false start and I totally just blew it out of the reboot mode. Anyway, welcome, everyone. We're going to talk about the games we've been playing. And usually be showing you footage of the games we've been playing because that's how I capture the footage for this thing.
At least one of them.
Yeah, at least one of them.
At least one of the games we've been playing.
Yeah, it was kind of, well, we were hard and heavy in two different games. Oh, I'm Dan, joined by Joe.
As always.
Yeah, so we hit two games pretty hard this last little bit.
Well, and you'll have noticed there was a little bit of a lag in content as I was sick, and we kind of addressed this on another video.
You almost died.
I did almost die. It felt terrible. No, I didn't almost die. Let's not be too dramatic. I think it was pneumonia. Shut me down pretty hard. I'm still kind of like trying to clear up everything.
Pneumonia-like disease.
Pneumonia-like disease, yeah.
Yeah. And we still get some coughing.
Yeah, I apologize if you hear me cough. I'm trying to like keep that off mic as much as possible, but I'm feeling a lot better. A lot better. Maybe
cool.
85%, I guess.
That's better than I feel on any given day. So, but let's jump into it. So first things first. We hit the Diablo season pretty hard.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it. I know last time I was talking about like, maybe I'll hold off, and I kind of did.
But I did
meaning
not.
that I didn't jump in immediately when Dan did.
But I did. I hit it so hard.
We both ended up hitting it hard. I think.
Because
I came in like a day or two after.
We both switched classes.
Yeah, started out on a Crusader, which was weird, but then immediately went back to Demon Hunter.
And I went from the Necromancer, which was fun and got me where I needed to be quickly, and then went back to Crusader.
But then within a matter of days, we both finally broke the Paragon 800.
Yeah, in a season.
In a single season. Yeah,
right, which is
for whatever reason has been elusive.
It's like 1 trillion XP to do that or
it
something.
It is ridiculous.
It's ridiculously strong. Also, for the first time ever, I completed the season journey thing that they have. Here's a bunch of steps you can do, and a lot of them after a point you get your extra stash tab, and then
there's like one more.
And there's one more after that that's kind of superfluous. Well, I got that done.
I actually went and got that done as well.
Yeah, because I
don't usually. I think I did it once when they first started giving us extra stash tabs. But then I was like, this is just not worth it.
And tell me the highest grade or rift you've cleared, Joe.
I have cleared a 90, which is a personal best.
Right. I cleared an 88, which is a personal best.
Yes.
Which is... These are solo, I should say.
Yeah.
Collectively, we've
we've done a little farther than that, but
it's
been good.
Yeah,
it's been
so fun.
For whatever reason, like we just kind of, I think it was just a time. Like,
I'm transitioning between
the stars aligned.
I am also transitioning between jobs, so I had some downtime.
Oh, that's right, you had downtime. Yeah, so that's probably a big factor.
So I'm like, hey, I'm online, and you're like, yo, let's do this.
Let's hit it hard. And
hey, I can stay up late because I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning,
which is delightful. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Oh, it's gonna get better and worse at the same time.
Better and worse. Yeah. So Diablo didn't change anything.
No, there's no
That's
patches.
Been kind of the weirdness about this. There's been no like rebalance or new gear. We just kind of
just really felt it.
The stars aligned and we crushed it. Well, and we had a couple other guys that were playing about the same amount of time as we were. And the stars have aligned.
Challenging and I was mentoring a
that's right.
co-worker that I was helping him get. Just kind of missed a couple of the, I don't want to say key things, but like the kind of end game things you need to be working on, the stuff that's going to keep you rolling from objective to objective to get yourself up into those higher grifts, and saw great gains, got big gains.
I mean, that's great to hear.
And I'm excited. He was soloing in the 65, I think he soloed.
Yeah.
Which is a great success.
And if you're interested in the Dan School of Diablo 3 Seasons,
don't
contact us.
Don't at me.
Don't at me, bro. Hey, man.
School of Success is not what I would call it. School of small.
I said nothing about success or outcome, just that it existed as the School of Diablo 3 Seasons.
Dan's Diablo School of Existence.
The Dan School.
That's never mind. So we hit that
TM.
Hit that, hard enough to get to Paragon 800.
Over 800.
Over 800.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're both over 800.
Like 830, isn't it?
Yeah, we're up there. And man, that Paragon is it's a game changer. It finally gives you a little bit of flexibility once you kind of just have the baseline of everything.
And you start feeling that difference. Like with that Crusader build, I'm bouncing between putting it all in vitality and strength and just kind of figuring out the difference. And I was actually deviating from the more, not meta, because I never play a meta build because I'm stupid like that. But
not succeeding.
This standardized Dan School of not succeeding with non-meta builds.
The Dan School of non-meta builds.
But I was changing from what is the generally accepted in playing around with different ideas and seeing what was going on. So,
well, I mean, also like a new thing for us, we were actually kind of like almost scratching the leaderboard.
Oh, I was chasing the leaderboard on the Necromancer and the Crusader.
Yeah,
but it's been
both of us actually getting pretty close. Like we were within a Greater Rift level.
I was just within a minute. I was within a minute. I was on the same Greater Rift level.
Yeah.
But also, this was the season that I finished a Greater Rift with 0.3 of a second.
Oh, that was insane. Yeah.
Before time ran out, I finished with 0.3 of a second. Which is ridiculous.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive, yeah. But a lot of fun. Diablo, still a great game. How many? We're on season 13 now?
Season 13, yes.
So that's been, we've been in it.
Yeah, and we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop another expansion. We're moving on to Diablo 4.
Yeah, we know something's coming.
Yeah, we like the way bugs kind of persist. Like you can open up your public lobby and only have 2 players in there.
Yeah,
instead of
there's
4.
There's like a multiplayer bug right now
that they fixed twice.
It's been around since December. They've dropped multiple hot fixes at this point.
We think it's just a dude. They put one.
There's just the one guy that's still working on Diablo 3 is unable to fix this bug.
Yeah, we think there's a skeleton crew of like Tim.
Yeah, so they've kind of like it's a lot of people are really unhappy because a lot of people just multiplayer through. A lot of
it's
the
so
Diablo
much faster.
Season. Yeah, it is. It's so much
You're
faster.
I need to run bounties.
The RNG
multiplayer.
is better.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Good way to farm Paragon as well if you do it right.
Yeah. And the disappointing thing is how I used to play a lot too, and it has kind of shut the season down sooner than it normally would have.
Yeah.
For me, because you try and jump into a multiplayer, it only fills with another person. And you never get a full group.
What I've seen people do is they'll drop and then whisper like they'll get a couple people and whisper them, like join me for unbugged group and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do that, but that's just like forming a 4-player group instead of matchmaking a 4-player group.
Right, you hit a button, you're in, you're doing it.
You have to like work for it at this point.
Nobody want to work.
Nobody wants to do that. No one wants to spam trade chat for a group. That's terrible.
Right. So I mean, is there anything we really want to talk about the Diablo season?
Just that it's great and everyone should play it.
I mean, I'm sure you could get it dirt cheap now.
Yeah. But yeah, still doing good. Still having fun with it.
Yeah, ton of fun. Well, we haven't touched it, but we haven't touched it in a while because of something else we'll get to. And a little bit.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah. But briefly, Destiny 2 still exists.
Give us some awesome news about Destiny 2.
Well, they've lost their player base, and the game, and they keep making decisions that make their fans angry at them.
Awesome. Destiny 2 still sucks.
Destiny 2 still sucks. Okay, so tell me about the Nintendo Direct, Joe.
Nintendo Direct just dropped, a week ago?
It's been last few days, let's say.
Yeah.
Of recording.
Yeah, from recording, I believe it was March 8th. But not a lot of new stuff. Mostly just release dates,
some ports,
some 3DS stuff.
Dark Souls 3, or Dark Souls remastered looks.
We finally got a date on that,
and I saw some screens.
That's true.
If that's what it looks like on the Switch, I'm happy with that. If that's what it looks like when it comes out on PC, I'm not happy with that.
Well, I doubt that we can't really like extrapolate that to say like, oh, that's going to be what it looks like on anything else, or even necessarily that's what it's going to look like on the Switch. So, but it looks good. It looks good, and it seems like it'll be fine for that. I'm not too worried about it. But what I am excited about that actually did look good is Octopath Traveler on the Switch.
Oh yes, the pixel shift we saw. Tilt shift, but
tilt. Yeah, if you're familiar with the term tilt shift, it's a technique in videography and photography of kind of making things look cool. And they've kind of designed this JRPG around that look,
like a 3/4 screen.
Yeah,
I mean, like the tilt shift angle.
Tilt shift angle for sure. There's like a frame thing they do with it to make it look interesting. But yeah, it looks good. It's a JRPG style thing that you basically pick out of these 8 kind of paths, 8 characters that have
your base character.
Yeah, your base character, and they have a job that affects how you react or interact with the world and different bonuses you get.
And it sounds like
there's multi-classing in that as well, so you can mix your job and kind of like specialize a little bit. But from the sounds of it, it's more of like you will play through this game multiple times as each of these characters. The 8-path, the Octo paths.
Okay.
It's kind of the vibe I get from it. We don't know a ton about it yet.
To get the true ending, you have to beat all eight paths. And
maybe it's kind of just like I think the idea is replayability.
Yeah.
And
cool.
being able to multi-class and stuff, and it seems cool. Looks great. The way
looks
the combat
so
looks,
cool.
yeah.
That
the
tilt
combat
shift.
tilt shifted is really cool looking.
So amazing looking.
So I'm kind of excited for that. It's been a while since I've dipped into a proper JRPG.
Right. Smash Brothers. They're making a new Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they showed like
If you
a
care.
screen. They showed one screen of Smash Brothers.
They've teased it, but it's like, okay.
Guess what? There's a Splatoon character to play as now, and
or multiple. Then
sure, yeah, it's a Splatoon character, and I think the Breath of the Wild Link is all you really saw.
But it's good. He's probably going to play exactly like old Link.
Yeah, well, you're going to be able because there's going to be old Link, Breath of the Wild Link, Toon Link.
We don't know that they're separate characters.
They were in previous games.
No, not Toon. I mean Toon Link.
I know. Yeah,
but Here's the thing. I don't really care.
I don't either.
I'll be honest.
I enjoyed Smash Brothers,
and we're gonna have to play through it eventually.
Right. I'll probably play through it sooner rather than later. Once I get a Switch, I'll probably end up with it.
Oh, I mean, there's no announced.
Well, my brother's got a Switch, so he'll probably get Smash Brothers. I know he's a big fan.
Right, but we don't have any information other than it exists.
2018. It's coming out this year.
Oh, is that it? Oh,
yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah,
that's how little I care. I'm sorry. I just
that's all they told us. 2018. So it's coming.
Okay,
it's coming. Smash Brothers has historically been fan favorites.
Yeah.
So
okay. Was there anything else from that Nintendo Direct?
I mean, people like Luigi's Mansion. That's coming. They're remaking that for 3DS.
I saw the side by sides. It looks not like it's good. Like
it's a 3DS game. I mean, what can you expect? It's not going to be.
Well, the thing that made Luigi Mansion like that people really liked was how good it looked.
I think it'll look cool on a 3DS. I think it being blown up on a screen from the Nintendo Direct is not.
I was watching. I looked at a little thumbnail, so it was still small, but whatever.
Interesting, yeah.
Because the render style.
It'll be interesting to see what that ends up looking.
Absolutely,
like. Because there are games like Ocarina of Time looks great on the 3DS.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
And Majora's Mask looks great, and those were 64 games that were not great to begin with.
Was the first Luigi's Mansion? It was a Cube.
No, that was Cube. Yeah. So Luigi's Mansion base looks way better than Ocarina of Time, and they made Ocarina of Time look way better on the 3DS.
Okay.
So
we'll have to see.
I'll imagine that one's pretty cool. I remember Luigi's Mansion being pretty fun. They had some new like DLC announcement for Splatoon 2 as well. So
chances of Luigi with the vacuum pack being in Smash Brothers.
Ooh. I'll give you pretty good odds on that. I bet that happens.
You feel it? All right. Oh, also, the one thing we do, I am remiss for not pointing this out earlier. The only thing that I'm genuinely excited about out of that Nintendo Direct.
What's that?
Sunbro.
Oh, Sunbro. That's right.
The Solera Vistera
Amiibo
doing the Praise the Sun thing, which is, it's a little far. I would have liked it more just like normal, but I understand why they had to go Praise the Sun.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about amiibos generally speaking.
But that sculpt looks good.
It's a great looking sculpt,
and he's so iconic.
It is. I will get it just because it's Solaire.
Yeah, I honestly I don't want to say like for certain, but I'll almost certainly get.
If I come across it, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to find it. But like if it's
Amazon's not out of my way.
If I'm walking by at Walmart and I see Solaire just sitting there on the bargain rack,
snap.
I'm like, I'll pick up Solaire.
He's
a good dude.
You know, I'm gonna text you and just be like, hey, Solaire's here. Come get it. Come get yours.
Come get yours. Come get your Solaire.
Come get your son, bro.
I don't know. Most of the amiibos actually are kind of cool looking
they're fine
as a thing.
They're fine.
You know, a lot of those Toys to Life kind of things do look really good.
I miss the Disney Infinity ones. Look great.
They do. They're really great. I'm kind of sad I didn't get into all
there was like
the Marvel ones.
The Venom one. I liked the look of the Venom one. Looked really good.
Venom, Spider-Man. I love the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Good stuff.
I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so now that we've gotten the kind of more interlude stuff out of the way,
it's time for the main event.
What we've really lost the most time on, though Diablo 3 is a close second.
I'd say we binged this the hardest. I haven't put as much time into this as I did Diablo 3 yet. But it seems like it's got the legs for it. What are we talking about, Dan?
We're talking about the Division
all weekend.
All weekend we played the Division like to a detrimental degree. Like I need to stop and go take a shower.
That is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
exactly what happened to me.
And then one of our buddies who was playing with us did the I need to go walk to do something for a little while.
I need to move.
And he was gone for a couple hours. He's just like, I just need to not do this for a bit. I think you actually need to adjust his eyes to not a TV screen in the real world.
But The Division, Tom Clancy's The Division.
Tom Clancy's The Division. But it released after Tom Clancy had sold his name to Ubisoft. So it's Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's The Division.
Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a looter shooter.
Looter shooter?
Yeah.
I like that. That rolls nicely.
Or loot shooter, but I like looter shooter.
Looter shooter.
In the same vein as Destiny, in that you have a gun and you get loot.
Don't compare this to Destiny.
But it doesn't compare to Destiny anymore.
Don't compare this to Destiny. It's terrible.
And somebody was telling me that they happen
to come out near the same time.
Near the same time
is all. That's the only comparison.
No. When Destiny 2 was having their troubles, they dropped the price of the Division and kind of started pushing the advertising on that. And apparently, they've got their numbers up to back or more than that launch.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I did not independently verify that, but I heard that they have more concurrent players than they did at launch.
Yeah.
So the Division is firing on all cylinders right now.
Well, and they've added so much. Like they have, so it is a loot shooter. And they have at the high end. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a third-person cover-based shooter. There's they kind of have like not rifts and a thing that just spawns an instance. You go through, kill stuff. That's how I see the world. Sorry, it's a Diablo.
It's a
Diablo filter.
It's the benchmark.
When you run a school based on Diablo skills,
it's true. You kind of get like into that when all you have is a hammer.
Yeah, exactly. Everything looks like a greater rift.
Everything's a greater rift.
So they have that, and over time it was a real rough game at launch. Like I've said,
we still enjoyed it though.
Yeah,
and we got in hard. Like we
were in hard.
Yeah, we bought like the gold edition
and
of the
felt foolish
game
up until now.
Yeah, and did feel foolish at the start. We had fun with it though.
We did have fun. The problem
we
was
had a lot of fun. The end game was pretty shaky,
unbalanced.
Yeah, unbalanced and shaky at the beginning.
I've said it before on this podcast, but the weakest you are as a player is the moment you hit level 30, the cap.
Yeah, the level cap.
Like they had this, and what they did is they over time they've changed a bunch of stuff and have continued to change stuff to the point where the time to kill is one of the big concerns. Yeah. So a gold being there's regular.
I'm sure everyone's
elite,
familiar with the term bullet sponge.
Yeah, bullet sponge, like higher level enemies, basically your elites basically. They have different level of elite. Like there's the red guys. They're not red. They have a red health bar. There's a purple health bar with armor on it, and a gold health bar with armor on it, and then a yellow, which is the like named guys. A named guy, you basically had to burn all your cooldowns, all your consumables. You had to hit everything all at once, and then it would still take 2 minutes to kill him.
It was ridiculous. It made the game not fun.
Yeah, and when you have one mission in particular that when it started, this door would open and 3 gold enemies would rush you, and as a team of 4, you basically same thing. You had to fire all your cooldowns and all these things, and still half the team would be dead by the end of it, and then rezzing and all this stuff. It was just this nightmarishly hard.
It killed us. It killed us on the game. It was a lot of fun.
Plus, there was no
engaging with it.
There was no real way to optimize because everything was what's high end gear.
Yeah.
But they have since introduced exotic being like named pieces and set piece gear.
That existed in the beginning. The exotics did.
Sort of. Like that's one of the first things they started patching in.
Right. Well, I mean, they had some of those named guns.
Yeah.
Like the Pakon, the
yes,
Damascus.
But they were originally just high-end guns. They then rolled them over to exotic when
they introduced that quality of a gear.
And they introduced sets and set bonuses and all these things that made it so you can diversify your build. You'd be like, no, I am going to put all my skills in my electronic abilities because I'm running this and it'll heal everybody faster.
And they've also done we're like 4 major DLCs into this game.
3. There's only 3.
Only 3?
But they have patched them a number of times that it's almost like it's a whole other thing. But they have put a lot of time into fixing this game
and finally got us back in.
Yeah, also
after 2 years.
The thing,
I think,
for me, right now the 2-year anniversary is going on.
Oh,
it is exactly. That's why
exactly 2 years.
They're doing what are called global events, and they've also added.
And this is what got us back in.
Right,
their new global event.
Well, and then the idea of classified sets. So if you're a Diablo player, this is your ancient gear with a tweak, or your. And for those who don't know,
well, it's even better because it adds an additional
your regular sets
2 set bonuses.
So classified gear has an additional set of set bonuses and also has a higher stat level. which I find interesting. That the better gear also has an additional set bonus. So, like the set I'm running, the Strikers.
Well, it just makes it head and shoulders above what was there before.
Right, and then, it definitely, and it's further down the rabbit hole of your specialization. So, like the Striker set is, you basically have to hit shots in quick succession, and as you hit targets, your damage ability goes up. You build stacks; it does more damage. Well, the Classified set also adds that also increases your self healing, making it a fantastic solo set because you can get yourself into some real bad places. I know because that's how I play.
And the beauty of the global event is they're giving you a whole lot of currency and they're focusing on these sets.
3 or 4 sets per.
3 or 4 specific sets.
You buy specific caches that have a higher chance to drop.
Yeah, you play
the
to get
versions.
the event currency, and then the event currency gives you a chance at these classified sets at an insanely higher
But
rate.
it drops off the global event currency drops off everything, but drops more off harder difficulties and different things.
Yeah. And it's pretty easy to get. It's like stuff you just get from playing the game. So they've made it really convenient and easy to get into.
Let us also mention the important thing: cosmetics.
Yeah, the cosmetic game they have upped their cosmetic.
They have upped their cosmetic game,
which I am way in favor of.
It's all very vaguely real world-ish. Like if not leaning a little Mad Max in places.
Sure,
a little post-apocalyptic.
They try to keep it pretty true to life. Lots of military type sets, stuff themed based on other military games.
But also your clown mask or your Jason Hockey mask or stuff like that.
But still kind of real worldy.
But your bright pink skull backpack.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love that.
Had to call that out.
Yeah, the weapon skins galore,
your
backpack skins. Yeah, my pom beanie. It's really cool. They let you kind of just look the way you want to look.
Yeah.
As far as the real world stuff, there's nothing too ridiculous.
As long as you like khakis, chinos, or just regular jeans of various levels of tightness.
I wish they'd up their sneaker game a little bit because I don't like all the tactical boots and military stuff.
It does tend to be tack boots. There are a couple. There are some sneakers. There are,
and I rock sneakers, but I wish I had like kind of a cooler variety. Maybe like they could cut a deal with Nike or something.
For example, like my actual work shoes are sneakers with safety boots.
Sure.
So you could go something like that where they look like tennis shoes, but they're not. They're also like
it's fine.
I'm saying there's a real world equivalent that they're unaware of.
I almost wish they had some licenses for like real clothing.
Like here's some Skechers.
Yeah, here's some sweet that
would get out of hand so fast.
Stefan Janowski Nikes that you can rock.
Can I get a McDonald's T-shirt that just put that on there?
Yeah, exactly. Any of that stuff would be rad. It would be fun if they had a little bit more Monster Hunter in their cosmetic stuff.
Okay, yeah,
a little goofier. I'm a fan of like doing some ridiculous stuff.
Maybe because they just announced that there is a Division 2 and they will talk about it at E3.
I'm excited.
So and they addressed this immediately. Said why don't we just keep working on Division 1 because there's definitely more we could go with. It's like we actually felt like we were in a place that we want to stop, reset, and take what we've learned and rebuild and do it better from the start. And it's like, okay, I like that idea so long as they don't do the Bungie thing, which is cut content and start over.
Right.
And actually move back.
And then reintroduce that same content over again.
Honestly, I think this may have learned my lesson. Unless they do some real salesmanship, I might actually wait past the launch of the Division 2 before I pick it up.
They let us get in the beta last time for Division.
Yeah, that was actually a problem because that sold me way more than I
did. But that same problem happened with Destiny 1.
I didn't get in the Destiny beta.
You weren't in the Destiny 1
No,
beta?
I watched a bunch of stuff around it that I'm like, I'm in on this because I think, and then found
I
out
remember playing it and then like, okay, cool. Like everyone else, I was like, oh, there's got to be a lot more than this to this game.
And the lore stuff
that
I was
showing us a little bit, and then it ended up not really being much more than the beta had to offer.
Right,
I was like, oh, wow, that was real bad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was reading something on this,
but we already know Destiny sucks.
Right.
So.
Well, here's the thing: is Destiny 2, large parts of Destiny 2 are still stuff that was cut from Destiny 1,
which is ridiculous.
Which is like the EDZ cut from Destiny 1.
That's crazy.
And there's still stuff that they haven't released that was cut from Destiny 1. So some people are looking at this next expansion that's probably the last of the cut content finally making it in the game.
Who cares?
But anyway,
I'm out already.
We were supposed to do we were supposed to make a joke comment and then move on.
Yeah, Destiny Minute was over.
But here we are again.
We already told everyone it sucked.
The Dark Zone. Let's talk about the Dark Zone.
Dark Zone's still awesome.
In the Division.
Yeah. Back on topic.
The Dark Zone was cool as a concept, but it was filled with too many people like just wanting to to troll and to just kind of come and ruin your time. And now the game has hit this place where you don't see much of that. There's a manageable amount because it's basically an open world PvP zone, but you don't know if people are going to PvP you.
Yeah, it's a PvP optional.
But here's the thing: since you're
if someone chooses to do it,
but you're looting gear that you have to extract from an extraction shopper, and so the tension of someone who shows up, kills you, and just steals that because they can, is so real.
It's cool. It's like you have to opt into becoming
a rogue,
but you can't opt out of the PvP aspect of it.
Right.
But you can opt to go rogue and try and steal somebody's gear.
Right. And we tend to play and try what we assume are off hours, so we don't see many rogue agents just in case. But we have gone in regular peak hours and not seen very many dudes, or have avoided what appears to be.
Yeah, you can avoid. They kind of let you know, like, hey, in this general area, there's some PvP going on.
Like half a click.
Somebody has gone rogue.
Somebody's gone rogue and killed another player, and you kind of look at your map real fast and go, "Okay, we're going south, or we're going north."
You can actively avoid it because there's still a lot of PvE stuff that goes on in the Dark Zone.
Yeah, but that tension,
you can selectively engage.
That tension is so good, though. It's
got a tension that does not exist in even regular PvP for me.
Right.
I usually just get frustrated when I'm like, know that I'm like there to try to compete with other players.
Right.
And it's kind of just, I don't know. I just don't like it that much.
Right. But
when there's a chance of it,
there's an implication of conflict.
When there's just there's a chance that might happen. And on top of it, it's based on your progression.
Right.
You find a really sweet marksman rifle that you want to get out of there.
Right.
And anybody can come kill you. They can steal your marksman rifle,
right? And
then you're screwed.
Yeah.
So so you have to extract anything you actually want from the Dark Zone,
right? And then there's still NPCs, and so it changes the way you engage, because you're like, oh, I can just engage. Oh no, if I go down, I have a chance of losing my gear.
Yeah.
Or someone can just roll up behind me, and so you get much more in that tactical mindset of, okay, I'm looking around before I go into a building. I'm observing. I'm looking at okay, is there stuff that's been looted or just stuff that's lying around? You kind of look for signs of other human life.
Yeah.
And you kind of choose to engage in a very more tactically.
And then the extraction process itself.
Oh, and it blows up the map. Everyone on the map, on the server. So 12 people.
You go and you fire a flare on a helipad, and you're like, hey, everybody, I'm trying to get some loot out of this place.
It warns the Dark Zone. Someone is trying to extract.
Someone's extracting. And so either if you're a friendly, you can show up and extract your own gear. If you want to come and mess with people, you can come and
they've added cutting the rope. You can cut the loot rope.
The loot rope and steal everyone's stuff. I mean, that's the thing though. If you're I mean, I didn't really think about this that much, but if there's 4 people trying to extract, you go rogue, cut that rope. There's way more gear there than you can even pick up.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And the chance of there being something you want is increased.
That's true. That's true.
It's a risk-reward system.
Yeah, that is true.
And the idea of it is, I find cool, and it's the implication of it that I think is neat. But at the same time, I didn't want to engage with it the way it was initially up until now. Basically, people always are what about a PvE Dark Zone? A PvE Dark Zone. And they always kind of here's the thing, I would love a PvE Dark Zone.
But it would lose something. It would absolutely lose something.
Except
because if you can't go rogue and cut people's gear.
But where the game is now, I counter with hunters.
They're not that big a deal to me.
I keep getting rocked by them.
Maybe it's because I play range. I play marksman.
Well, we'll get to that, because if it's something that survival mode
will cover all of it.
Well, yeah, but survival mode I think is a good showcase of you could tweak PvE NPC players to be just as terrifying or worse than human players.
Maybe,
and that will keep that tension up.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. True.
Maybe. I don't think the AI is good enough, and I think they would have to make it so punishing to make that.
Honestly, my interactions
anywhere near the same way.
I should say this: I've killed hunters and not even known that they're hunters, because they spawn outside of survival.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But then again, when you know they're hunters, you know that they're hunters.
Okay.
They're there's a guy who's a complete bullet sponge. Even now, you're gunning him down as he's charging you, and all of a sudden he just pops something, heals the full, punches you in the face, and you're dead, and that's it. It almost feels cheap at times, the way the hunters work. But when it's balanced right, it's terrifying, but you can still do it.
Maybe, and that just makes it really hard, though. It doesn't make it
really hard.
That would just make me frustrated at the game, not at the random chance that.
But instead of being frustrated at another human, you're frustrated at the game.
Yeah, which feels worse to me.
Okay.
I'd rather.
I get that.
I'd rather like be betting on someone else's like greed/agency than I would on like a script written for an AI.
Fair enough. We are also messing around with the idea of like running up to an extraction zone, firing a flare there, and immediately just leaving,
leave and go somewhere else,
and fire another flare there just to mess with people.
I mean, hey, valid.
Yeah,
absolutely valid. Especially if you're in a pretty heavy, like rogue-filled dark zone. Right. You almost want to do that. Like, you split up and then meet at you split up, fire off two at the same time.
Right.
That would
just see where they go.
Yeah, see who shows up where, and you can just run to the
Well, if you had somebody who had a good vantage point that was watching them, and you could see which way they go, you could potentially game that.
Because you fire the flare, you got 2 minutes until it gets there.
I think it's about 2 minutes before it to fly.
2 minutes for it to fly in, and
about
then
a minute
for it to actually take off after you've loaded your gear.
Right, which is also if you see someone else extracting, and you're
so you've got 3 minutes to get there.
You're feeling ballsy. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you're like, I need to get this thing out, and you kind of walk up and you keep your distance, wait till they put on their gear so they know you're not going for their stuff. Walk up, and you'll see guns on you. When you put your gear on there, back off. And everybody's just kind of eyeballing each other, and then the thing goes up, or it gets to a few seconds, like 5 or 6 seconds, so there's not enough time to cut it. Then everybody goes, "Oh, okay," and just turns and walks away. It's this.
We're cool.
Yeah, moments of tension. I will admit, I do like those moments of tension,
and that would not exist with NPCs.
When I don't lose my gear,
it could not exist with NPCs.
But like I said, when I don't lose my gear. I like the tension, but I don't actually like losing my gear.
I don't like losing anything, but I like the tension. I like the But then, yeah, if it's NPCs, like, what would the NPCs steal your gear?
Yeah, I know. Well, like, if it drops, it's gone, kind of thing.
It's like, oh, well, geez, now I just have to kill this boss level.
It causes more problems than it solves. I understand that.
I understand like the desire for like not having to deal with PvP, but I think it is implemented in a way in the Division that is far more tolerable.
It's better than anything I've seen, but it's just there's still
it's one of the best systems yet.
But there's the people that just want to see the world burn, and that's frustrating.
And that's mostly due to the fact that we haven't really been playing, so there are people that are better geared than us.
Oh, and there are sets that are just objectively better for PvP.
For PvP and things like that. So I think once we also get a couple of those sets, like I would really like to try out a couple of them. They're like designed to like keep you alive and help you in that kind of thing.
Don't go Banshees. Banshees is not the
Banshees is more of like you just get bonuses for like you get bonus currency and things like that. Not great. But like the Nomad's cool.
Yeah, Nomad is apparently it's like the tank build.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in seeing where that has to go. And we'll have more. I mean, we're going to keep playing. Right now is a great time, like we said, with the global events. They're doing the 2-year anniversary thing, so every weekend is like a super event where you can just get tons of classified
and
gear.
The game looks gorgeous. We have not mentioned that.
Yeah, if you have Division and haven't played it in a while, now is the time.
There's plenty of footage out there to look what it.
Good.
It's a post-apocalyptic New York with like a disease doing its thing. You got different gang factions that are straight out of Warriors.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Well, I mean, yes,
they're not quite as themed. I wish they were.
The cleaners are pretty much out of it. The rest kind of aren't.
The rest are not. But
I may have overspoken on that.
I like the thought. Now I wish that was the case. I wish it was Warriors.
Well, just call it Gangs of New York.
Yes, we just need a Warriors DLC for the Division.
Just like you're like
I need a baseball themed game.
Yeah, I was just saying the Furies. I was just about to make a joke about that. Like, yes. So we need. Sorry, my dailies. I got to go into the dark zone and kill 10 Furies.
Kill the baseball Furies. Oh man, Warriors. If you have not seen the Warriors, do yourself a favor, check that out. It's ridiculous.
And find out if you can dig it.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? Oh, that's such a powerful opening to that movie.
I mean, come out and play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you have Division, jump back in now. It's a great time to kind of get what this game is now. It's kind of a complete game now.
It is. I saw somebody who actually just released a review in 2018 saying this game finally feels done.
Yeah, and it feels great. I've even jumped
if you like
back
the looter
into,
shooter, yeah,
and I've been jumping back into some of the old DLC stuff because I just kind of was hands off after that first we first fell off. I was just out.
There's a straight PvP mode that they put in. None of us have tried it because we got no interest. No interest.
Yeah, PvP is not my forte.
Right. It's like a kind of capture and hold mode, and it's nothing you haven't seen anywhere else, just with a slightly different flavor.
Yes.
whatever. And
then they have the Rift style
the underground. You're in the tunnels.
Tunnels. Just kind of wander through. You're like encountering different groups of enemies
and raves and whatnot, and just
rave party, like sewer rave.
They do have a good smattering of objective changes. Like it'll be like, here's 15 minutes to get this whole thing done.
Yeah, and it was cool. It has like different affixes that'll go on. Like you'll have different harder
directives.
Directives that you have to.
Well, and you could turn them on and off, and you could choose them. There's one where it's like you can use your skills, but it messes with all your electronics. So when you pop a skill, so if I throw out a healing station, all of your map, your HUD, your ammo counters, they all fritz out.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they're more powerful, but they make you less aware of everything. There's one like your healing cooldowns are way stronger, but take longer.
Oh, interesting.
And it's risk reward type stuff. You get more XP for turning them all on.
And you can stack like 5 different ones.
There's one, and they have different lengths. A 1 phase is supposed to be about 15 minutes, and the 3 phases it's supposed to be less than 45.
And it has all like its own it's got its own like additional intel and lore that goes along with it, which is really cool. Because the Division world is pretty interesting.
Right.
Like it's kind of like this weird devolved society that is in just chaos.
Right. It's starting to get like real post-apocalyptic when you think it's been 3 years.
It gets pretty Mad Maxy.
Like when you think about how long it's been, even though it's still like it's snowed the entire time, and it's set after Christmas.
It's still Christmas,
but it's still right after Christmas.
Oh, it's so good.
It's kind of funny. It's like everything's stopped.
There's still Christmas decorations up in all the shops.
So they have the Rift mode, and we should talk about Resistance that you haven't played.
Which one's Resistance?
Resistance is the Horde mode.
Oh, right.
Where I'm
not a Horde mode guy.
But at the same time, it's a great way to grind caches and things.
That's not a bad idea.
And it's kind of Horde mode where you can buy, like you're buying through doors to open up new areas.
Okay, no, I did try that.
Did you try that?
I did jump in because I was trying to unlock the underground, so I was going back through just kind of step by step doing things that I hadn't done yet.
And so you went to West Side Pier.
I went to West Side Pier and I went and tried that out just to see what it was like. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
And here's the fun part: is there are actual loot drop cases that you spend money and it'll drop loot for everyone, and it gets higher and higher. So you can find a spot.
So that currency, so as you're killing guys, you're getting currency in this thing. Each wave, you're getting currency.
And you spend that on...
You spend that to get farther in, and you spend...
Or ammo, or health...
interesting.
You spend it for ammo, you spend it for... Enemies still drop ammo, but you can get so behind on certain things that you can buy it for health packs. If you need more health packs, you can buy it for... You can buy certain upgrades.
So that as a Horde mode is actually more interesting than a regular Horde mode.
Well, they added that into Horde mode as well, kind of.
Well, the fact that you're kind of progressing through, you're moving through geographically.
Well, you don't have to. The games I played with, everybody kind of sets up next to one box and everybody's just trying to cycle it for loot.
Oh, okay.
So that's a thing.
That's what the meta became. That's that's sad.
I've only done one map twice.
Oh, okay. So we haven't done a lot of
right, but also for a certain amount of waves, I think it's 5, 10, 20 waves or something like that. You actually get a loot cache that you open at the end.
Oh, okay.
When you get out of there. So it's a thing to do to grind gear, just like all of it.
Okay.
I still didn't want to do the other ones because that's cool. So if there's a form of loot shooter that you like, it kind of has integrated all of it.
It's got all of it, yeah.
With
speaking of, we should really get to the one that we want to talk about.
The one
that we enjoyed the most.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like the whole thing. I like it as a whole, and I think I'm actually almost done with it. In the survival mode, like I've seen what it is.
Oh, so you're not interested in doing
solo,
that more and more?
Maybe solo. I don't know. But here's the thing: is I still can't extract solo consistently.
Oh,
but I
see how it is.
But I can get close consistently, and I wonder how much is left. That's it.
Oh, right on.
So
survival is what we're talking about,
which I believe you'll see at the beginning.
Sorry for burying the lead.
Right. Which is probably I think the way it'll go is the what we'll use for our background, our B-roll footage.
Yeah, you'll probably be watching.
I think we'll probably start with that because that's
survival.
Because that one went a bit, but the idea is it's an instance thing where you're flying to pick up some antivirals for some super extra virulent version of the disease that's everywhere now. Anyway,
yep.
the dollar flu, that's smallpox and the flu mixed. And,
super pox.
Yeah. They call it the dollar flu because it's spread on dollars on Black Friday. That's kind of a neat way to do it.
That's how the Division started.
That's how the Division started. But a blizzard's coming in. You fly in a helicopter. A helicopter gets knocked down out of the sky, and you land on a rusty nail, essentially. So you're sick, hungry, thirsty, and dying
immediately.
And you only have a pistol.
I mean, it's called survival for a reason.
It's called survival.
Like, if you played any survival game,
and you have an hour
it
before
is a distilled version of survival games.
You have about an hour before the disease that you now have kills you.
Yep. So you're in there with a finite amount of time,
and you're freezing because
and
now
you're essentially naked. You have no gear but a pistol.
And they actually integrated a weather effect, so the temperature outside will fluctuate, but you have to craft or find clothing to make
to combat the warmth.
Yeah,
the cold,
and the better
sapping you.
The closer you are, the less quickly your heat meter taps out. But that means you're also stopping on the street and warming yourself off of flaming barrels, and like
it's so good.
It's really and then you're looting everything that you can loot. You're like, oh, canned food, that's great.
Yeah, because there's hunger mechanics, there's thirst mechanics, the sickness mechanic. There's medicine to combat that. You can slow it down. You can stop it from progressing for a period of time. Right. And that just kind of extends the amount of time that you were able to survive, but it's still very finite.
Right, but as you use those things, as you use medicine, you actually become resistant to the medicine, and it works less amount of time.
Yeah, the duration shortens.
The duration shortens every time you use it. Like water, when you get thirsty, it doesn't. I don't know the side effect. You can't really see lootables around you.
If you are thirsty, it's harder to see things that you can loot. But if you have recently drunk,
you have a buff to it.
You have a buff to it where it highlights things,
so you can scavenge easier. Your health it's in a 3-segment bar. And your health will only regen in this mode. It'll only regen to the next bar up, not through the next bar, but to max of the bar you're in.
Yeah, max your
food. If you eat food, you'll actually if you're hungry, you regen for health less quickly. If you have recently eaten, your health will regen to full.
Yeah, it'll jump bars. It'll keep healing you up.
And then there's limited med kits and
as long as you're warm, it'll keep healing you.
Yeah, as long as you're warm. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're warm.
And when you're cold, you start freezing very quickly, and that's man. It sucks to get killed by the cold.
And it brings back crafting to the game, which is kind of an obsolete section in the main game, but it is a very core part of the survival mode because you can actually craft gear, you can craft clothing,
you're picking up
weapons.
You're picking up gear that you would never use, so you can take it apart for the crafting materials that you'll need later. You have to craft a mask to go into the dark zone, where you have to find the antivirals and then extract.
Oh yeah, that's
crafting a flare gun.
That's why you're even there in the first place. Like your helicopter crashes because you're on the way to the dark zone to pick up these special antivirals.
And you still trying to complete the mission, even though it's all gone real sideways.
Yep. So the goal is still complete the mission and extract with the antivirals.
Right.
But you have to start naked essentially.
And we should say it drops
work your way up.
It drops you back into the same overworld game map.
Oh yeah, it's an instance version of the overworld.
But it's all frozen over, and it's blizzardy and looks amazing.
Peak blizzard. Super cold, like minus 33.
The checkpoint, the world is so you can navigate. If you know the map, you can navigate without going into your like digital map that tells you where things are. But like things like your save points are different. You're where there's like lootables and things. Though I have noticed that some lootables are always in the same spot, so you can learn the map.
Oh, cool.
And like so that one Dark Zone entrance that I keep running past to loot clothing, there's always that clothing there.
Right on.
3 times in a row, it's always been there.
Okay, so there's some amount of knowing the map,
which is why I'm like, oh, okay. That's why I'm starting to think maybe it's a finite amount of times you can run it before it becomes.
Oh, just because they have some interesting commendations and stuff that tie in. So getting to that point will probably take some time invested. Just to
I have to play
to learn it enough.
Yeah,
they're like, okay, cool. I can usually get all the clothing I need. I mean, if that works the same way for, they definitely have common spawn points for these boxes and gear drops. And
there's certain places you want to go, like, oh, there's a park. Let's hit the park because there's stuff to loot there.
Yeah, and I think they do. That just makes sense because that's kind of how this game works.
Yeah,
like it's the same way in the overworld. Normally, there's like similar spots,
but you can still turn a corner and you've got like a pistol and there's 3 golds and you're just like, nope, not happening, and you're running for your life.
Yeah, and you basically have like no armor, so any of the NPCs you run into in survival mode have a real good chance of just ending you.
You can craft armor, but you're not gonna because the cold you're crafting clothes primarily because
just to fight the
cold because otherwise you're just always taking ticking damage. And like by the time you're crafting armor, it's so late game. You're in the dark zone and like everything is super strong.
But it's been the most engaging mode that we've found.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Since I had never really done a survival game, I've dipped a toe into a few of them,
and it should be said they let you play as a 3-man team. It's just the same instance because only one person can loot an object with some minor exceptions.
Yeah.
So
you can drop gear for your teammates.
You can drop some gear for your teammates. You can't drop clothing.
Clothing,
and medicines.
The cosmetic does in survival have the whole warmth factor, but like that normally you can drop clothing anyway.
Right.
So it's not different from the main.
It's
game.
not different from the main game, but also like medicine, food, all that stuff. You have to be careful not to pick it up because you can't drop that either.
Right.
And so that's kind of interesting. So there are disadvantages to running in a group in that you have to share resources.
But then you have 3 times the firepower, 3 or 4 times the firepower.
But I've absolutely been spawned into groups where you can see individual agents running around, individual dudes playing solo in the same group as us. Or
well, you can group up in there as well. I have been invited to groups while in survival mode.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can, if you find that you're kind of running around in the same area with somebody, you can group up.
And you will see that you can only initially you can only carry 2 med packs at a time, and you use them for everything.
Yep.
And so in the main game, resing a person, you just run up, hit square, you'll res them. This consumes a med pack in survival. So when a random dude who's not on your team, you haven't seen him before, runs up, shoots the guys around you while you're down, and then gets you back up,
it's kind of a big deal.
You're just like, dude, I love you. You are like, walking out of the storm, saving my life, and then disappearing again. Cool. Don't touch my stuff.
I don't know that if we're just really good at survival, but it seems like, once we played it a couple times, we were consistently in like the final 5 people alive.
I think
are people just not good at games?
Also, they're not. I think the people that some people played it, figured out what it was, said this was cool, and then moved on.
Could be.
And so you have a lot of the people who are new coming back, or just
maybe so. Yeah, maybe so.
I will say this. So I have my survival story. I was going to say,
okay.
I ran it solo this morning.
Regale us.
Because I was something like 50 points away from getting the weekly goal for getting a cash
for playing survival.
For playing survival. So I'm like, what the heck? I'll go in there. If I get shot by the first guy, it doesn't matter. That should be enough.
Yeah,
points.
Getting 50 points is like
nothing.
Hey, you arrived. Here's 50 points.
Hit the ground running. Just completely I went on a looting spree outside the dark zone, got everything I needed, got myself pretty well situated, had 2 or 3 really fun close calls where I was like, oh, there's a couple reds, just drop them, got shot in the back, turn around, there's 2 golds, run around, grab what I can, and then did this kind of like this wild goose chase,
serpentine,
looped around, came back through used a shortcut through a safe house to pop out on the other end and also regen my health to full, because you regen to full in those. Looted from behind him and got away. Had a couple close calls like that where I went from 2 med packs to 0, back up to 2, back to 0, back to 2.
Wow.
It was dicey, but it was fun. Got all the way got my antivirals, did a bunch of that stuff in the dark zone. Okay, so I actually came up on a guy who got in way over his head, circumvented where he was, because he was in between. So it was him, pack of golds, some purples, and a named, which in survival is like, nope.
Yeah, if they're named, they're like bosses.
Yeah, you're done. And then on the other side of that was where my antivirals were that I need to pick up.
Okay.
I actually kind of fell back because it was the lower part of the dark zone that I was kind of familiar with. I'm like, there's got to be a side route around here. Found a parking garage that took me down, around, past all of it. And this guy's in a firefight the whole time, and he's like, dude, I would help you if it was 1 or 2, but there's a boss.
Oh, it was another player character?
Yeah, another player is in this. I run around, loot my antivirals right as he dies, and I see this pillar of gold light, which means he had some high-level gear. Like, oh, okay. So I sneak back around the exact way I came, avoided 2 or 3 fights, which is super intense and super fun. Climb up the scaffolding where he was on the high ground, loot, nobody sees me, run away, and I basically, he had all purple gear. He got into all purples, like for chest and guns and stuff like that. But he also
and if and like I said, if the player characters, it's similar to other game modes. If a player character dies with
they drop their gear,
they drop all their gear
and their medicine and
all of their consumables, so you can jump up and snag. So you can either res these guys that are like dying.
He was gone by the time I got there.
Right. To get their gear, they have to be gone. But you have like you have a refractory period of 5 minutes.
I will say this: he actually quit.
Oh, he just bounced.
Because if he was unconscious, I would probably, I might have resed him.
I don't res anyone.
I would. Well, it depends. I don't know if I had any med kits. I would have considered it, but he had quit.
Screw those guys.
He had dropped and quit by the time I got back to where he was. So
all your loot belong to me.
Right. Anyway, but so that had happened, but picking up his stuff got me the commendation for having full of everything. I had pills, I had medicine,
nice.
I had food, I had energy bars, I had sodas, I had water.
That's great.
I had 3 of each of it. I'm like, oh no! I started popping pills to stop the disease. Well, no. I played survival. I knew that.
Extended warranty.
But by DEing all his gear, I had enough crafting materials to craft the top end clothing. So I got the commendation for not being immune to the cold.
That's awesome.
So I could just wander around at my leisure. I crafted a couple gold pieces, a gun.
It feels good.
It
feels good getting that hot.
I hadn't been using skills. I crafted a turret and a health box. I'm like, I am as ready as I'm gonna get, and then I foolishly went to the wrong extraction zone.
Oh no!
It spawned 100 directly behind me, dropped me.
Oh no!
I'm like, okay, no, I got this. I res. He pops a disrupt, so I can't use any of my abilities. I'm like, okay, so I see where he's at. I jump into cover. I start shooting at him. He walks around the other way, and before I can transition, he's already behind me. As I'm still trying to fiddle with my skills and all that. So he drops me again. I'm hitting my res, my last med pack. I'm using that to get myself back up. He throws a shot grenade, stops me from using my med pack, walks up, shoots me once. I'm dead. That's it.
GG.
GG,
bro.
It's just like I said, whatever trouble I have trouble with hunters, but I went up to that one extraction site on the top of the
and in
park
survival,
structure.
we should say like that's how that works. Like when that's the end of survival. Once you get there, you get into the dark zone, you craft a flare gun, and you get your antivirals.
And I had fired my flare. I just had to get on the chopper.
As soon as you fire your flare, it will spawn a hunter for everyone in the area trying to extract at the same time as you. So. The first time we got to that level, we ended up having to kill 5-6 hunters.
Yeah, because there's a whole group of dudes around there, which was amazing.
Huge group, and it was a crazy way to like get our first. And this was our first time to ever extract as well.
Yes.
So we ended up with 6 hunters and a bunch of us
and
trying
teaming.
to
Everybody was like focusing down, and
only 4 of us made it out.
Really? The 2 of them died?
Yeah. Only 4 of us made it out because we had the extra.
Oh, right.
Well, there's only 5 slots in the helicopter to extract.
And then we saw one dude running off.
And we saw one dude. Okay, so one more than I thought. So only one of us got down then. Okay, cool. So 4 of us jump in the chopper to extract. One guy just takes off. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I'm not going to extract. But because when you extract, you end up...
That's it.
Yeah, and you get to take all the caches that you've looted.
And there are caches in the world that you have to extract
each of the
to get them.
And each of the hunters drop a cache. So like I think the best extraction I ever had, I ended up with like 12...
10 or 12 we got out on that
10 is what you can pull out, but then you can get more from like doing stuff in the dark zone through your proficiency caches and stuff.
Yeah.
So I ended up with 12 after like my best survival run, and man, it's crazy. It feels good. It's one of the most satisfying things I've done in the division.
It is intense and satisfying. I just wonder how long. Like I said, I should when I say I feel like I'm almost done with it, I'm not sure. That's
okay.
I don't know what that it's like.
If it has more legs than just like it definitely is a unique feeling, and it's high tension throughout because you're trying to survive, and then it's very rewarding when you do finally extract because you are working for it.
I feel like I've gotten my basic route, the direction I like to head, the areas I like to roam, because it does crash you in a different part of the city every time.
Right.
And there are certain zones that I have gotten used to, because it does seem to favor certain areas over others, and so I've got to kind of feel for those areas.
Sure.
What's going on? I like it. I love it. But like at the same point, not every time. I've had a few times where I've died where it just felt cheap. Like I said, again, like dealing with the hunters, like you were saying, hunters might feel kind of cheap.
It may be a style of play thing, because I've actually never really had much trouble. They were harder when I was closer to them, for sure.
Well,
I do play typically the long game. I'm usually like, I find a little nest that I can just kind of park in.
Right.
And
there was when I was playing last night, and we were on mic, so you heard me kvetching about it. Then when I walked out of a building and was dropped immediately because it had spawned a hunter up on the top of a 3-story building. And he just sniped me immediately, and I had no indication he was there. My HUD was started popping, which is your indication, but he hit me immediately, and he just dropped me, and I had no health pack. So it's like
they definitely seem to have a like the RNG is skewed in their favor. Like if you can be hit, they will hit you.
Yeah,
like, you have to really like calculate. So like what happened when
they can shoot through corners
when I was doing solo survival, and I popped I thought I think there were 4 people left.
Yeah.
In the entire
game
session.
Yeah.
I popped my flare, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to try and solo this. I knew he was gonna pop somewhere in the area.
Yeah.
So as soon as I shot off that flare, I just got out. I just left the area and then circled back around.
And I now understand why people seem to use that higher extraction point, because it's better for that. I'll say this: I picked the wrong spot. I was on top of a parking structure to extract.
Yeah, that's a pretty small area.
It was a pretty small area. And I'm like, okay, I got this. But the fact that he shock grenaded me, he just chain stunned me to death. It's like, okay, I'm never coming back here again.
I like the big open one where it's in the park
because you can deal with them. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I now understand that. Yeah. So, and that makes me sad.
Well, and then they have like the med tents all set up, and they're multi-story, so you can actually get up. You can get the high ground on everything. In the area, and it makes it a lot easier to deal with, just because you can
see them moving around.
You can see them moving around. Like you can snipe.
It takes them a while to get to you.
I did save medicine and stuff for that phase, knowing that I was going to have to deal with it, and knowing that everything gets disrupted very quickly. Yeah, and it makes it pretty infuriating.
Yeah, so it's like
they're actively interrupting you, and you can't use your kind of core abilities during that time.
They're basically end game characters, and you're not quite end game. It bears a little tweaking. It feels like it's. Like I said,
I dig it. I don't know. I dig the insanity that it just ramps up exponentially. Every step you make it closer
Dark
to
Zone,
getting
it's
out.
terrible.
Every
Flare
step
gun,
you
terrible.
make makes it exponentially harder.
Well, and I get it, and it's probably, like you said, it's probably a mix of play style, and I'm certain I need to learn how to adapt with it, and I just need to do it enough times, and it'll probably become almost trivial.
Yeah,
because the way video games.
You did mention many times, like I wasn't really thinking. It was just like a mad panic dash. Okay.
At what point? When
just different points in the survival. You're like, honestly, I wasn't really paying a lot of attention. I just ran.
I did cop to that when I'm just like, this is clear. You're like, yeah, because we got separated. And you're like, how did you get there? I'm like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm just. I thought I was following you, and like as soon as I go around a corner, there's just a pack of dudes that nuke me, and I'm like, how did you get past these guys? You're like, got to be honest, don't really know. Wasn't really paying attention. It was just kind of a panic dash. I
saw my opening and I ran. That's fun,
and it's a lot of fun. The whole thing is a lot of fun. It's just like, oh man, it's just high tension, and man, that endorphin rush when you actually make it which is so good.
And it also has the benefit of not being filled with Chinese hackers, which is what PUBG has going for it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to invoke PUBG at all. I don't think it bears that much of a mention.
We had a comment. People was comparing the two. They're not. They're not comparable.
To the Division.
Yeah, to the Division. Survival.
No.
Having played both, I see what they're saying, but no.
I can understand that. You're dropping a number of people into the same area and you have to compete for the same resources.
But since you have a PvE, PvP, PvP must be crazy. It's just probably people just backstabbing each other.
Absolutely. I'm not interested in
the
PvP survival mode.
It's the right amount of tension with just you versus the world.
Yeah. You can just choose PvE or PvP. You get more, your score multiplier is higher in PvP.
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
You only need, I think every week, it's just a point total that you need to get your weekly
I've
done.
seen sometimes where it's maybe it might be the daily is get out, extract.
Now some of that would be interesting. Yeah, extract, or hey, get a certain level of warmth resist for your weekly.
That would be cool.
Getting to certain milestones that normally
I think it's just a score
you wouldn't go for.
But I think it's a score thing.
If it is just a score multiplier, that's fine. I wouldn't have any.
But you know what's better than
it's so fast to get it done.
Yeah, do you know what's better than getting a score? Getting out of the survival mode with gear that you can bring back to your main character.
Yeah, and that's what I really enjoyed. They just rain it on you if you actually make it to extraction. So.
I need to accessorize with my sick cowboy hat.
Yeah, yes.
I got a cowboy hat yesterday, and it's amazing.
It just looks like Rick from Walking Dead.
Except for I still have my hand. Comic book
too soon.
Comic book reference.
Too soon.
Anyhow. Yeah, but we've been really enjoying the Division. Survival especially, but the game as a whole. And I don't know. Like I said, I guess I should say the survival. I'm not sure that it's.
We'll see. We'll get back.
We'll see the legs on
what the legs.
I'm curious on the legs because it's when I start thinking about it, I go, yeah, that is really fun.
I mean, we played it for one day,
all day.
We played it all day for one day, and we saw a lot of it. We'll see how long that lasts.
I'm just getting in this repeating loop on it here. Yeah. So as opposed to doing that, we'll just say this. We will be trying to play some more games. We'll have some more stuff going up on the site. Joe, anything else you got?
No.
Any closing thoughts on the Division or Diablo?
Closing thoughts on the Division. It's surprisingly still very full featured. I'm glad it's a complete game and it feels good.
It's still supported.
Yeah, and you've got your weekly, daily objectives, and there's tons of cool achievements in it that I've been having a lot of fun going after.
Right on. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. I wanted to say that.
I thought we were gonna resist.
I just want to say it once. I just had to say it once. You get one too.
I get one. Okay, I'll calculate my dropping of my. I can't say it again, but
but we can't have it
I
twice.
won't say it. No, it can't. Candyman will show up.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, everybody, and we'll catch you next time on the Backcast.
Catch you later.